Okay, so since I dropped the how to enable DLSS 4.5 in ARCRaiders video about a day or two ago, I've had a load of questions come through with some confusion, and it's understandable because this isn't the most simple bit of sort of software release that NVIDIA have ever dropped. On top of that, we have gone from version 11.0.6.374 since a day or two ago, and literally yesterday they dropped version 11.0.6.379, which is now the latest version. This isn't beta anymore, so you don't actually need to opt into access beta or experimental features anymore to have this latest version. You can disable that, but I'm going to try and clear up some confusion and show you guys the updated correct way to enable DLSS 4.5 in ARCRaiders. So let's start with answering a few questions. Is there a difference between performance and DLAA? Yes, there is. So that's just the quality preset of the DLSS resolution scaling method. DLAA is the highest, in other words, the highest quality, but also therefore the most GPU intensive. Performance is the second lowest after ultra performance. So less quality, but less GPU intensive, therefore more performance. Next question, can a 3080 Ti do DLSS 4.5? It can run DLSS 4.5, but important disclaimer, this DLSS 4.5, I guess software you can call it, is intended for 40 series and 50 series. It isn't designed, the architecture of 30 series and below cards isn't designed to support DLSS 4.5 properly. So you're likely to have a negative performance kind of hit when using it. I wouldn't recommend using it on 30 series or below. You can try it and see for yourself, but it isn't the intended. You can't. So to answer the question, yes, you can use it, but it isn't intended. Another question to clear up, which is a good one, is if I use DLAA, should you change it to preset K? So there's something we've got to get straight here. So DLSS 4.0 is the previous version of DLSS, and that had some presets, one of which is K, a couple of others. K is the main one that's used. There's like J as well. And now with DLSS 4.5, what is causing a lot of confusion is that actually only has two models in it. It has L and it has M. So preset L and preset M are the only two presets that are 4.5. Preset K is still 4.0. And what makes it more confusing is K is the preset that's intended to be used with DLAA. L and M are intended to be used for ultra performance and performance respectively. So L is ultra performance and M is for performance. Now, it's worth noting that if you want DLSS 4.5 whilst using DLLA, you can use M for that. So M with DLLA equals DLSS 4.5, right? That means you're using it, but you aren't using the intended model because M is intended for performance, but it should still work with DLAA because that was kept in mind when creating it, even if it's not perfect. I personally use this. I use M with DLLA, which means I'm using DLSS 4.5 with DLLA quality and M preset. Or that you can use the intended preset for DLLA, which is K. So K with DLLA actually keeps you on DLS 4.0. So you aren't using 4.5. You just can keep things the same. So I hope that's cleared that up a little bit because that's not too simple. Okay, so with that out of the way, I'm going to show you the updated version to enable DLSS 4.5 as of yesterday, where they dropped 0.379, which took the DLSS 4.5 out of beta, put it into the official NVIDIA app release, and it introduced a setting called recommended, which replaced the setting called latest, which makes my previous video redundant. So for this, you want to follow the same process. So you want to make sure that you've installed 3.79. This will come up here. Install that. Make sure you're on the latest version. And then, as before, you go into graphics. You go to ARCRaiders. You scroll down, and this should have, if you had selected latest, this would already have changed for you. So you go to model presets, and you can use recommended. That's what NVIDIA wants you to use. Really, you want to press recommended here. And then what that does, if you press recommended here and apply it, it means that when you're in Arc, whatever scaling method you use within Arc, whether that's DLLA, quality, balance, performance, it will apply the relevant preset for that setting. Now, for me, I want to force my game to use DLSS 4.5, even though I want to use the highest quality setting, which is DLAA. So I go to custom, I keep that as default. I put super resolution to M, which is the preset for performance, and then I override my super resolution in game to DLAA. Oh, sorry, DLAA. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. But if you just want to keep it simple and you just want to have the option to use DLSS 4.5, all you need to do is go to override model presets, click here, go to custom, and then change this to recommended. Or more simply, you can just click the recommended tab here, and that will change everything to recommended. That's what I would do. Okay, and then to check that the DLSS 4.5 is applied in game and that you've got the correct model, you need to press Alt-C to bring up your NVIDIA overlay. And then at the bottom here, you click statistics. And then when you come in here, this will probably be on basic, but you want to use these arrows to scroll across to DLSS, click view all. And now you can't see it on mine because I can't actually record my overlay whilst ARCRaiders is booting up or is booted up. So this just says NA. But if you press your overlay whilst you're in game, you should see here at super resolution model override. In my case, this says preset M, or it says M. In your case, it should say whatever preset you selected. And then here, super resolution mode override, that should say DLAA or whatever quality preset you set. So mine says M and mine says DLAA. And yeah, that means that you're using that preset against that quality with DLSS 4.0 or 4.5 enabled. If this helped, I appreciate a like and a follow.